Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Library of Ruina. And are you guys and girls ready for some gimmicky abnormality battles? Because I sure ain't, but we gotta do them anyway, so here we go. So first off, we are going to do the chessed abnormality called Scarecrow Searching for Wisdom. So both of these abnormalities I'm actually going to be going in with my firing squad, and I'll explain why when we get into them. So here we go. Alright, here are some gimmicky. So here's the first gimmicky battle. Okay, so the way this works is you have to face 3 scarecrows. By themselves, they're not that bad. However, there's a gimmick to this. So, every turn, one of the scarecrows will get a second speed dice instead of only having one, and he will use double wisdom harvest. Now this actually, it isn't just for the one scarecrow, it actually alternates. So for example, next scene, this scarecrow will have the double speed die. The turn after, it'll be that scarecrow, and it'll pretty much alternate. Now, what is wisdom, harvest wisdom, you might add? So the way this works is all of your librarians are also given a card as well, just called wisdom. Now what harvest wisdom is as you see at the moment, it's 4 attacks, each of them only doing 1-to-1. However, this number changes, and so all dice gain 4 power if it's not clashing against a wisdom. So for example, if you just attack it normally without trying to clash it with a wisdom card, then pretty much what will happen is the scarecrow will use it. Will use harvest wisdom. It'll gain power, but not only will it gain power, this card is actually really dangerous because it not only sucks up a lot of health, because it is 4 attacks, but it also does a lot of stagger damage too. You do not want to get hit by harvest wisdom. Now the good thing is if you clash your wisdom against his harvest wisdom, the damage that he would deal to you would actually get dealt to him. And so if you clash both wisdom cards against him, he will actually get staggered. And so that's why I've brought in my my firing squad, because the way I like to work this battle is, so what I like to do is I like to clash wisdom against his harvest wisdom. So unfortunately, since he doesn't have a second wisdom card, we will do this. So the wisdom cards clash against each other. Then what you want to do with every other speed dice, you want to target the guy on the right, on the bottom, because what will happen is at the end of this turn, this guy will get staggered. Hopefully the scarecrow ends up dying and being almost dead, and what will essentially happen is the next turn you won't have to face a wisdom card if you can get this scarecrow into at least staggered mode, because in doing that, he would be the next one up to be using double harvest wisdom, but because he's staggered, he won't be able to go. The only thing you need to worry about is for when you get to turn 3, and this guy will be able to use it. So long as you're kind of able to survive the third, when this scarecrow ends up doing double wisdom harvest, because the first 2 turns will be trying to eliminate this scarecrow, these 2 scarecrows. Once you get to turn 3, and this guy starts using double harvest, if you're able to kind of survive that, it should be a cinch for defeating him afterwards. Because then you would have to wait like 2 more turns to get it. So that's kind of how it works. But you'll see like how it works when we start the battle. Here we go. Alright, cool. We got him into staggered. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so pretty much our wisdom gets the power since we're clashing against it. And it does a lot of damage, and pretty much it immediately puts him into stagger. Now, what you want to do here is you want to like target the both of them. Alright. So that one should be enough to take him out. Everyone else will probably just target him. Alright, there we go. Since everything's in fatal. Alright, there we go. We got him. And then hopefully we can get rid of the second scarecrow. I mean, look at all of the feeble we've inflicted upon him. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky. Because now he has harvest wisdom. So we still have a wisdom left, so we can use one of them. Unfortunately, we don't have the other one. So what you're going to want to hope is you're gonna probably want to hope that you can at least maybe block some of the attacks. Some will definitely go through. Alright, there we go. Unfortunately, it did go through. So pretty much another thing I forgot to mention is whenever his harvest wisdom goes up, he I believe gains like strength. Alright, so he only has a little bit before he gets. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is whenever he uses he also steals your cards as well if his harvest wisdom goes through. But now that we've staggered him, which is good because I think next time he was going to be able to get another wisdom harvest. So we've avoided him from getting it a second time. Yeah. So just got to keep whittling him down. Like, there is a bit of a fear that you might run out of your range pages before you finish him off, but that shouldn't be the case. Unless, like, you're just very unlucky with rolls and stuff. But there we go. That's the Scarecrow's done with. Pretty simple battle once you just figure out how it works. Yes, and please, no more coffee. We know what your coffee's really like.
俺も手伝うよ。
これだけたくさんの本を運べるだとか。俺もこの仕事にだんだん慣れてきたみたいだな。
何でもやってれば慣れてくもんだよ。コーヒーもね。
コーヒーか。
今度のは口に合うと思うよ。
信じて飲んでみるか。おお、これは甘くてすごく美味しいな。
He actually made decent coffee. I'm going to assume he's been practicing.
なんというか、そう。 こんな高級な感じなのに美味しいコーヒーは初めてだよ。
I'll take your word for it, Roland. I ain't a coffee drinker
でしょ
myself.
昔ゲブラーもこのマキアートから始めたんだ。
美味しいコーヒーってこういうもんだったんだな。30超えてから分かることもあるだなんて。
裏路地のコーヒーは材料の粗悪な品質を隠すため、大体は強い甘さでごまかしてるって聞いたよ。
ただ苦いだけのもあるよ。それでも起きてないといけないとか暇を潰す時にはコーヒーを飲んだんだ。
俺もだよ。ロボトミーじゃコーヒーなしで一日を始められなかったんだ。冷めてしまったコーヒーみたいな無気力な体を温めてくれるのはコーヒーしかなくてね。せっせと何も期待せずに働いてたんだ。
そこそこ大変だったんだな。
そうだよ。職員は幻想体に殺されてどうにか生き返そうと計画を立てても無駄だったんだ。そうやってだんだんと冷めていったんだ。
今はちょっと暖かくでもなったか？
そうだね。今度はローランの言う通り暖かいよ。俺に与えられた分だけいろいろとできるからね。何よりいろんなコーヒーを飲めるってのがいいね。
Can you please make me something other than coffee, though? Get a new hobby.
言われた通りにやるのは同じだろ。
今度は俺が選んだんだ。そして俺がうまくやれば他の司書の被害も最小限に抑えられるし、だから久々にやる気が出てるんだよね。
結構ゆとりのある考え方するタイプなんだな。
昔よりは全てが良くなったよ。これも慈悲と言うべきなのかな。
誰の？図書館長さんの？
俺も信じられないけど、なんとなくそうなんじゃないかって思ったりもするんだ。
俺はよくわかんないな。アンジェラの怒りと目標が確かに目に見えるから。あいつが行こうとしてる道に慈悲があるかわからないんだ。マキアートうまいな。ついつい口に運んじゃうし。
来るたびに新しいコーヒー作ってあげるよ。ちょっとずつ知っていこうか。
Great. Not only do we have drinking alcohol buddies, but now we got drinking coffee buddies too.
いいな。期待してるよ。
This is just a quick question. I've never done this because I don't like coffee, but has anyone ever put like coffee and alcohol together? Because I just feel like that would not mix at all. Alright. Now, it's time for the Roland abnormality. Okay, so with the Roland abnormality, there's actually two ways to handle this. You can either do it quick with a chance of death, and I should say a medium chance of death at that, or you can do it slow but guarantee victory. Now you're probably wondering what I mean by this. I'm actually going with the second option, slow but guarantees victory. Yeah, so you're probably wondering what I mean by this. I'll explain when we get into it. Okay, so this is Pinocchio. Pinocchio has an ability. So pretty much what this abnormality is Pinocchio and his henchmen pretty much copy your cards. So whatever decks you go into this battle with, he will have the exact same cards as you. That's why if I went in with like Eugen's deck and Bamboo had Kim's deck, it could get pretty tricky because like they're like really powerful high attack cards. However, there is kind of a way to cheese this fight, and that's to go in with a firing squad. The reason being is because, as you know, the firing squad, once you use ranged pages, they're gone forever. Well, at least this build. You can get a build with ranged pages where you can keep the ranged cards, but at least for the current build that we're at, we have. If you use the page, it's gone forever. The same actually applies for your opponents. And so you might think, okay, if you run out of cards, how are we going to beat your opponents who also runs out of cards? There is a catch though. On top of getting all of our range pages, we're actually given a melee card. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. You see it there, it's called Lying is Bad. Now pretty much what that card does is, I believe, sometimes a Pinocchio, when they put down a card, the card that they put down is actually lying. Whether it's like has defense die instead of attack die, or if it like inflicts feeble instead of bleed and stuff. So sometimes Pinocchio will lie, and you pretty much use that card to, I guess, stop the lie and stop him from attacking you. But there's a second use to Lying is Bad. Since it's actually a melee card, Lying is Bad doesn't disappear. So the aim of our fight is for us to use all our range pages to defeat his henchmen. You want to get rid of the henchmen first, because one henchman ups Pinocchio's attacks. The other henchman's not as bad. All he does is screw with the card's cost. As you can see, the cards are like freaky with how much they cost. It's not right. It's because one of the henchmen is pretty much forcing the cards to be like that. So you want to use the range page to get rid of the henchmen first. And then when you run out of cards and he ran out of cards, he pretty much is unable to attack you, while you can use Lying is Bad. It rolls a 1 to 6 to pretty much slowly whittle down his health. That's why I say that this is the slow but guarantee of success kind of victory. So firstly, you want to get rid of the guy who actually adds the strength or endurance at the start of a scene, which is this guy. So we're going to want everyone to focus our attacks on him. So pretty much what we just got to do is we just got to endure. Alright, there we go. And there we go. He's down with. Yeah, you don't want him to stick around too much because you don't want them to gain the strength. The good thing is they actually started with the +2 in endurance, which is good. As you see, so this guy is actually lying about I hate QC2. Who has the I hate? Where is it? Where's Lying is Bad? Here we go. So Lying is Bad actually starts. Yeah. So he's lying about that. So we're gonna. Yeah, so we're gonna use that on him, and then we're just gonna focus every other card on this guy. Pretty much by the end, you want to at least, when all your cards are gone, you want to at least only have this guy remaining. Yeah, you just gotta keep it up. Line is bad, okay? Yeah, we're gonna get some urging. Okay, he doesn't look like he's lying this time. I think he's learned his lesson. Yeah, even if you have a librarian or two that dies, it's not really going to matter since you only need one of them to like use the line is bad. Alright, there we go. And now we can target this guy as much as we want. So he only has that. That. So pretty much we will just use all of our shots. And there we go. So pretty much we're just gonna use all of our range pages until completion. Yeah, unfortunately he is like not affected by... Ooh, yes. Alright, so pretty much this guy has no more cards left. So we're just gonna do that and hit a line is bad. So now pretty much what happens is he just has to stand there while he takes our attacks. The only issue here is it might take a while. Since lying is bad, only does like 1 to 6 damage a turn. So you want at least all the range pages to do as much damage as possible before you get down to the moment where you can only use lying is bad. Alright. Okay, yeah, and as you can see, we have run out of pages. So this is probably going to be where the boring part comes in. So I'm probably just going to cut most of this, and when we'll be back, he will almost be dead. And we're back, everyone, and as you can see, he only has 8 health left, so we're almost there. The first question you're probably wondering is, what the hell happened to my 3rd librarian if he's incapable of attacking me? You see, what happened is when my emotion went to the 4th level, I ended up choosing Fervent Beats abnormality page to give to one of my librarians. Pretty much what the abnormality page is it pretty much gives your it just powers your librarian up a lot by giving him 4 of every stat. 4 strength, 4 power, 4 protection, literally 4 of everything. But at the end of the 4th turn, he ends up dying. So I thought, I'll give him that to hopefully like power up the lying is bad card so we can kill him faster. Unfortunately, I didn't bother because in the 4 turns that he was alive after that, he did not get the lying is bad card once. Literally, this librarian got it twice and Roland got it twice. The librarian that gave Fervent Beats to did not get it a single time. So that was kind of annoying. And if you're wondering about how long it took me since we last left off, it's not too bad. It's only about 10 minutes of just doing the same thing over and over again. It's not too bad. But we just got a few more attacks to lay into him, and then he is done for. As I said, this is the slow but guaranteed success method. And there we go. We suppressed him finally.
みんな集まったよ、アンジェラ。カフェイン中毒にニコチン中毒。
Mr. Coffee Addict, Miss Smoking Addict, and the Miss Beat Up Roland Addict. The kid addicted to sharp-tonguedness.
俺たちがお前の提案に同意したからって、こんな風にお互い挨拶する場を設けてくれたのか？
勘違いするな、アンジェラ。私たちはお前の味方じゃない。目的が同じだけだ。
あの黒いセイタカノッポは完全にアンジェラの味方みたいだけどね。
言われる通りに頑張って働いてる非雇用者にのっぽ呼ばわりするとか。
目的が同じね。ええ、それならいいの。
Come on, everybody. We're on the same team. Let's learn to get along.
同じ目的を持つ限り、あなたたちは私の味方になるしかないのよ。あなたも私も皆光に目がくらんだから。
そしてお前は過去に縛られてるよな。
笑えるわね。果たして私だけとでももう忘れたの？ケセド。恐怖にひざまずいていたあなたのあの日々。
どうして忘れられると思ってるんだよ。あの痛みに崩れた恥は後から俺を苦しめるんだろう。でも全部忘れたくない。だから全て受け入れることにしたんだ。
ああ、私はお前が守り抜けなかったとは思っていない。
エノクの犠牲も無駄じゃないわ。私はそう信じてる。
誰が過去に縛られてるんだろうな。
Oh, come on, Chesed. You don't want to tempt. You don't want to tempt Angela's anger. We've seen it firsthand. It's not a pretty sad.
あなたたちが口にする過去というものは軽いものばかりなのね。
そうでございましょうね。お前は自分が抱きかかえている感情と苦痛だけが大切なんだろうし。
私が利己的だとでも言いたいの？
いいえ、あなたが私たちの痛みを理解できないように、私たちもあなたの痛みを理解できないだけよ。
What about Roland's pain? No one's bringing up his pain. Is it like he doesn't matter or something?
自分が経験したことじゃないならなおさら。誰もあなたにはなれないのよ。まともに話さないと誰にもわからないの。
Feel like there's a song coming on with that statement, but we ain't gonna do it because now is not the time.
今さら私に教えようとなんてしないで。
言っちゃった。
And there she goes. You know, a board game would be helpful for team bonding.
みんなひどいな。アンジェラをそこまで追い詰める必要があ
While
った
Angela
の
was
か。
creating the library, she couldn't have, you know, created a board game or two. Where's the monopoly?
憎いからじゃないのよ。アンジェラのために言ってるの。
言うことをちゃんと言ってくれる人がいないと一人で歩んでいくには辛いからな。
I don't know why. I just feel like if we ever did play Monopoly, for some reason, Gabriela would I just get the feeling that she would totally own us in that game.
そうそう。俺とティファレともゲブラーのためにほんといろんなこと言ってあげてるんだよね。
Chesed, do you want to lose your head? Because I feel like, you know, with some of the clips you've come out and said, you might be heading towards that direction.
ケセド。
So even Tipperif is like, hey, I think you went too far there. Oh, and Gebra's pissed.
逃げてケセド。
Run, Chesed, if you want your head attached to your body.
それじゃあ失礼。別にありがたい場じゃなかったけど、みんな集まれて
You're lucky she didn't bring her sword to this meeting.
そろそろ爆発しそうだね。じゃあね、ローラ。
Bye bye.
あの二人はいつも
And just like that, it's down to us two.
ゲブラーが怒るのは目に見えてるのに、毎日ああやってるのよ。
そりゃやばいな。中層は戦場になりそうだな。その二人を君が仲裁してるのか？
私が止めなきゃ何が起こるかわからないもの。それでもそれなりにはお互いのこと気遣ってあげてるし、そこまで悪く思わないでほしいわ。
そうだな。見た感じ死なない程度には気遣ってくれそうだな。
And there we go. Alright, we're just gonna fix up the floors. Yeah, so we're just gonna fix up the floors before we tackle on the next general invitation. Alright, so there's that floor. And then we got the Netzach floor, which has our other. Okay. So we've done all the first floor of the nightmare, so let's see what the second floor is all about.
Domo, Lara-san. 指令です。
Hey, Yan's back.
ララへ明日の正午までに針3本をリリー
What?
の誕生日ケーキに入れろ。
What kind of message is that?
もしかして明日が誕生日のお隣のリリーさんのことですか？
Needles in a birthday cake? Jeez.
僕もわかりません。
あのおばさんが針を食べて怪我したらどうしましょう。
そうならないかもしれないじゃないですか。リリーさんが運よく食べる前に気づくかもしれませんし、あるいはララさんがあらかじめ針が入ってるって教えてもいいんじゃないですか。
指令の内容を話してもいいんですか？
指令にそんなことは書かれてないのできっと大丈夫ですよ。
So what, like, these guys literally have to do whatever it says on the prescript?
それでも変ですよ。何日もの間こんなわけのわからない指令ば
Like,
かり
what's the point of doing
意味
that?
があるんですか？
指令が遂行されなければ人差し指の保護を受けられません。家族もいるじゃないですか。
So it's like, we will protect you, but you have to do some weird things for us.
どうか指令を遂行するよう願います。
はい。
どうも、リ・ドッグさん。新しい指令です。
何ですか？ここでまた。
He's like, oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world.
すみません。僕に言われても何もしてあげられないんです。さあ、深呼吸して指令を。
どっかへ3回目に会った人とじゃんけんをして必ずグーを出し。
Oh wow, I was like, okay, play rock paper scissors, that's not too bad.
その人の髪の毛
And then if you would pull out 59 strands of their hair, 59 exactly. How do you even count something like that? Strands are like tiny. Is it if he pulls out 60, he is screwed? Oh no, I pulled out one too many. I'm gonna get got. It's still going.
スチロールだけを食べて
Seafood cream pasta sauce
ミ
with
ルワー
milk
ムを加えた
fed on
シー
styrofoam
フードクリームパスタソースを3回かけて
and eat it. Oh,
食べた。
oh. Even I felt that one. Hell no. I'd take my chances on the back streets with the cannibals.
頭湧いてんのか？こんなのを食えって。そうじゃなくても1週間前に下水道の水でリゾットを作ってお隣の民事にプレゼントしたじゃんか。
Risotto out of
俺のこと信
sewer
じて食べ
water.
たせいで救急室に運ばれたんだぞ。
Yeah, she pretty much got a cola, I'm guessing.
クソくらいだ。
ごめんなさい。僕はただ指令を伝えるだけですので。
お願いだ。金ならいくらでも払うから。あるいは1回だけでも他の指令に変えてくれ。
僕も気持ちとしてはそうしたいですけど、僕には権限がないんです。
So we can't even change it?
誰もが指令の前で試されるんです。
You know what I think's going on here? What's the thing? It's like the same as like what ritualist cults do, where they give you like tests of faith, but it starts off like really easy and really simple, where it's like, oh yeah, I can do this, where like it might be like, do something here or do something there, it doesn't sound too bad. And it's like, oh yeah, and so like it gets your confidence up, but then like slowly but surely each request gets more effed up by the day, and then the next thing you know, You're like drinking goat's blood, eating heart meat, doing actual sacrifices and all that crap.
やんでんで久しぶり。
Hey, it's Proxy Gloria.
こんにちは、グローリア代行者。グローリアもここのラマカスさんに用事があっていらっしゃったんですか？
うん、そう、指令を受けてね。
ラマカスさん、中にいらっしゃいますか？
Oh,
ダメそう。
he's he barricaded the door. He's like, yeah, he's hiding.
ああ、ここにいるね。
お願いだ。どうか。本当に小さな問題。
もしかして指令を遂行しなかったんですか？
うん。ラマカスさんの前頭葉を潰せって私に指令が来たの。
Frontal lobe. Doesn't that pretty much like? Don't you need your frontal lobe to think? If that happened, that would pretty much make him brain dead if he smashed it.
代行者に指令が来るってことは、誰かの指令が遂行されなかったということです。ラマカスさん。
Oh wow, being a proxy must be the sweet life then. You don't get the prescripts unless someone else fails and you have to go and kill them.
ふざけたことを言うな。あなたの描いた絵を殺せ。
Kill the painting you've drawn.
これは人生のすべてだった絵を全部黒く塗りつぶしてナイフで刺して引き裂いて。
簡単でしょ？
Yeah, even I could get where it was coming from
誰
there.
でもいいから一人捕まえて描いた後にその人を
Yeah,
殺せ
you
ばいい
paint
んじゃ
them
ない
and then you go and kill them.
これは俺のせいじゃないだろう。
I don't know about it being vague.
指令のせいだ。
Like that last guy who got a prescript was very specific. 59 strands of hair.
あなたの頭が悪いのを指令のせいにしちゃダメでしょ。
このクソ野郎が。俺は生きるために何でもやってきたんだ。
What, you know, now I'm thinking about what would be a better life? Living on the back streets with no protections, with a chance that you might run into some cannibals who will cook you up and turn you into meat. Or you get protection from these guys, but you have to do these weird messages that get progressively worse and worse by the day. Me personally, I feel like I might actually take my chances with the cannibals.
リーマンってやつに数字を伝えてユニコーンの人形を公園に移してヘインってやつが白い壁を緑色に見れる方法も見つけたんだ。
See green from a white wall.
今まで本当にうまくやってきたのに。
今回もうまくやるべきだったでしょ。
あなたの努力は十分伝わりました。でも
私たちに指令が下された以上、私たちも指令に従う必要があるのよ。
ごめんなさい。
うわ
どうもジョンさん、指令です。
ジョンへ。明日3時38分に
Stand on any three-way intersection at 3:38 tomorrow. Look east and wave 7 times. That doesn't sound too bad.
本当にこんな簡単なタスクをこなせば保護してもらえるんですか？他の組織みたいにお金も受け取らずにですか？
はい、そうなんです。
わかりました。人差し指は本当に最高ですね。
The time though is very specific. I don't know. So I feel like there's more to that one than meets the eye.
他のところみたいに無理な対価を要求するわけでもないですし。
もう一度考えてはみませんか？この年にただなんてないですよ。
たまに来る指令さえ従えばいいっておっしゃったじゃないですか。巣は一夜にして滅んで居住区域には危ない奴らがほっつき回ってるし、他の組織は途方もないくらいのお金や契約書を要求してきますし、私の家族を守ってくれるのは人差し指しかいないんです。
Listen up. I believe his name is Johnny. You're probably not gonna like how this is gonna end. Even the Yan the messenger is questioning life.
はい、そうでしょうね。指令を守るのなら安全ですよ、多分。どうも、代行者の皆さん。新しい指令か。
最近超指令受けてる気がする。
指令ってそんなもんですよ。あと、いつから指令の数を気にし始めたんですか？
指令に疑問はないけど、このままじゃ親指とか掃除屋とかと血を結構流すことになりそうだけどね。私はもう流す血もないけどね。
指令が戦争を望むのなら俺たちは戦争をしないと。
俺たちは指令の意思を代行するだけだからな。優先的に受け取った指令から遂行する。代行者たちは各組の遂行者たちにヤン伝令の指令を伝達するように。
それにしても指令には何て書かれていますか？
それがね、私はこの L 社の巣で37歳の人の脊椎を
Extract the spinal cords of 37-year-old people in the nest. Oh, wow. Sucks to be whoever's 37 years old.
すべての37歳をですか？
How would you ever go about doing that? You're gonna have to ask every person their age?
さあ、曖昧な指令の解釈はエスター代行者の仕事だし、
範囲は全ての人を対象とする。37歳を一人残らず見つけ出して脊椎を抜き取ってくるように。
俺たちの組は今日14番目に出会う人の
Exchange the left leg of the 14th person we come across today with the right leg of the 26th person. Everyone, stay indoors. Do not go anywhere near the proxies. They will murder you.
むしろヤン、あなたが持ってきた指令が簡潔すぎて妙なのよね。
So what, he's just gonna be walking the street and he's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's the 14th. I'm sorry, I gotta take a left leg. He's gonna Quan Chi that poor fool. Eliminate the thumb, no time limits. Well, at least he got a simple one.
解釈の余地もないな。
遂行者たちは指令通り
And the fact that there's no time limit means he can spend as long as he needs to.
結局人差し指が来る。
Ah, yes, the index. So I believe the proxies themselves aren't coming, just their goons.
指令というものは曖昧なせいで誰かの解釈が必要なようね。
指令ってのを直接見たことがないから何がどう書かれているのか見当もつかないな。誰が指令を下してるのかもわかんないし。
どこから来るかもわからない指令に従いながら大きな組織を維持するなんてありえないわ。
それが怖いんだ。無作為に下されているように見える指令が確かな結果を出してるからな。
そんな指令を誰が出しているのかわからないって？
少なくとも俺は指令の大元を知っている人を見たことはないな。すでに人差し指の指令は都市の星になって久しいし。
So they're stars of the city, so we don't have to deal with them at least for a little bit longer.
信じられないわね。ザレごとに猛獣するだなんて。
Amphigory.
みんな同じだよ。あいつらの言うようにみんなどこかで与えられた人生の目的に従って盲目的に遂行するだけだ。むしろ目的もなく都市をさまよってる人たちは指令でも掴みたいだろうな。
自分の命を捧げろって言われても？
親指と戦争を覚悟してるのを見る限り命が惜しそうなやつではないだろうな。
翼でもない。せいぜい組織同士の争いを戦争と言えるかはわからないわね。
おいおい、君はあいつらの規模を知らないからそんなこと言えるんだよ。 それぞれの指が抱える数百以上の参加組織が全てぶつかる瞬間、翼戦争に匹敵する被害と爪痕が残るんだ。しばらくはあのイカレ野郎どものせいで外と図書館が騒がしいことになるだろうな。
Alright, so how to explain these guys? Honestly, I hate these guys. They're like little bastards. So I'm actually gonna go in with my firing squad. So I hate these guys because essentially these guys have a habit for literally trying to target one person at a time. So as you can see, they all target one person, which is really annoying. Because if you have like all 4 people target one person at once, they're most likely going to die. So what you want to do also these guys actually have enough stagger, at least in my mind, not to be staggered by a 1-to-1 battle. So what I like to do here, so I don't get completely overrun by these dudes, I have 2 target 1, which in my mind should be enough to kill them. And so even though they're like targeting 1, if we can kill 2, we would still have the advantage. Alright, there we go. Now the good thing about these guys is this is actually the start. Well, after we defeat these guys and burn their books, this will actually be the start of creating singleton builds, which are really powerful builds. And not only are singletons powerful builds, they're also versatile. You can actually use a singleton build in quite a few like different type of builds. Like you can use a singleton build in a smoke deck, in a slashing deck, in a burn deck, the whole shebang. And so singleton builds are really good. Unfortunately though, the only negative is that you from these guys you really only kind of get like the starting cards from from these guys, and you're actually gonna have to like wait until you face like stronger index members like the proxies to get like the full scope of a singleton build. But the cards you get from these guys are still pretty decent. There's actually one, I believe, that's like really good, I think you get from these guys, which is Will of the Prescripts, which is pretty much just the card that he used to me right then. Like Will of the Prescripts is a really good card. Alright, there we go. Now you just gotta focus on that guy. Come on. We almost got him. There we go. Okay, there we go. I was actually getting a bit nervous then. That's why I specifically tried not to clash with the Will of the Prescripts. because he had to evade die. Alright, so we're gonna burn the books. And pretty much next episode, I believe we're actually going to create our first singleton deck. So that's going to be exciting. But first, we've got a abnormality battle to do. Which I believe is the final Malkuth abnormality fight before we come on to her realization. Now, oh, actually no, not Oscar. Olga. Oh yeah, okay. I guess we will go with Oscar. Alright, there we go. So we got the Queen Bee. So this battle is actually pretty easy, even though it does kind of have an annoying gimmick. Essentially, the gimmick is every turn pollen kind of stacks, and the more pollen that stacks to the to your librarians, the kind of like the more damage you get dealt with a turn. But the bees and the bee queen are pretty much so easy that you don't even really need to worry about it. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to target, well, at least in my case, 2 bees at a time. Yeah, so you want to get like the worker bees out of the way first. And there we go. And there we go. Yeah, just destroy those worker bees. Yeah, also another thing, if a librarian dies, another worker bee kind of spawns. So that's also kind of not good, but you just want to get rid of like the worker bees so you can pretty much just focus on the queen bee. Okay, so this worker bee is still alive. Okay, I'm gonna hit double flashing strike on that bee. There we go. We're gonna need a Moulinet on that bee along with Flash of Cernip. And then I'm gonna hit two sparking spears, one on each. Alright, there we go. That bee's down. At least get him into stagger, right? Okay, so that one's down. Oh, wait, no. This is a different bee. Okay, we got him. Okay, we got one of them into stagger. So here comes the pollen, which I already explained. So we're going to use Gamble and Gamble on that one. We're going to use Boundary of Death on the Queen Bee and Repost. Yeah. And then pretty much we're just going to go after the Queen Bee. We're going to hit another spear, and this time we're going to go with the Trance Pierce. Here we go. almost got the beast staggered, which is pretty good. Now we can just focus on the worker bee. And yeah, so she's in staggered, so it's pretty much smooth sailing from here. Yeah, we're gonna hit the sharpened blade and then the moulinets. Yeah, so this is why I got rid of the worker bees first, because you don't want like them ganging up on you. And when they kill a librarian, pretty much that's when you're that's when like they can spawn more. Also, the pollen that was released also damages us as well. So you technically do have a time limit on this battle, but like the bee is so easy, it's not even gonna matter. Alright, let's see what Malkuth. Oh. Okay. Malkuth has nothing to say. Alright, so I'm going to explain how... Alright, so as you can see here, we've done all of Malkuth's abnormalities, but there's another exclamation mark. You're probably wondering what that is. So that is a... Okay, so after you defeat all the main abnormalities, you then have to go into a really lengthy, drawn-out battle called a realization, where you pretty much have to face an enemy that takes on the form of all of the abnormalities you faced in that floor. And it's like 5 turns, so you gotta defeat an enemy 5 times. And it's really long, it's really drawn out, and it's actually... I don't want to say, like, the first few are okay, not too difficult. I think Netzach's one is probably the first one I'd say you might struggle with. But, yeah, so pretty much it's just a really long drawn out. And then pretty much after you defeat the realization, that's when you get access to ego pages, which makes you, like, overpowered. You get, like, these powered up kind of abnormality cards to go along with your regular deck, and they're really helpful and useful, and so it's really good. But because of the fact that the abnormality, the realization takes so long, I'm probably only going to be like doing one an episode, or one realization an episode, since it does take so long. And also because of the fact that like, we're pretty much already, like, so far into the video already. These realizations can easily take up to, like, 30, like, they're, like, 30-minute battles, essentially. And so because of that, well, actually, I'm actually not going to do it now. We're going to continue it next time. So, I do feel like I probably have time for one more battle, or I should say one more invitation, which we will do now. I just gotta equip my pages. Alright, there we go. Alright, so do one more invitation and then we'll call it there. And then next time we'll get into what realizations are.
Minna, ウキウキするあまり焦って片付けたりしないでね。俺の友達が泣き疲れて気絶しそうだよ。
What the hell are these guys? They look creepy. They almost remind me of like the headless monks from Doctor Who, but they're smiling faces instead. And that one's smoking a bong, it seems. Or not a bong, like a pap kind of thing.
Selma.
Oh, that's a really long pap.
かわいそうな友達。それでもそんな大げさに痛がるなよ。まだまともに楽しめてすらいないからね。
この辛い煙のおかげで痛みや草原感じらんはずやけどな。ワンさんこいつほんなこつ怖がりやね。
そうやね。まだ1347枚しか剥がせとらんとね。
How many times have they cut this man apart? What was that, like that one Chinese torture technique? It's like 1,000 cuts? They went far and beyond that. They went 1,347 cuts.
どれどれ、青い兄貴がどんくらい剥がせっち言おったっけ。
友達とはいえ約束を破ったセルマの罪は重いし、1万枚くらいにしておこうかな。
10,000! Wow.
わかりました。任せとってくださいよ。
おいミさん、こいつ剥がしたのば全部食って道元すっとんよ。
わいは耳聞けなくなるじゃん。どうせ食んなべさ。
They're eating him?
さあさあ、たくさん残っとるけん心配しなさんなって。口がそんな偉いあるわけじゃなかろう。俺がうまく切り分けんとな。
セルマ、そんな顔するなよ。知ってるだろう。
For those who don't remember, Thelma was in charge of the She Fixer Association. He was like the branch manager. And he was the guy who pretty much sent Yujin to her death. So I'm not sad about this at all.
精一杯うまく処理してたのに最後にしくじっちゃダメだろう。
おいあんちゃん、これなんか喋りてみて。どうす？口稼取ってけるな。
So he's been gagged.
うん、解いて。
Holy crap, that looks terrifying.
青い産業、この狂った野郎が。ふざけるな。そもそも不可能だったじゃないか。は
あ、南部支部の2課だけ利用したのはセルマの選択だったよね。
Yeah, if you sent the top dogs, we would probably not be standing right now.
一課を利用してもよかっただろう。自分の席を守るために2課を処理しようと頭を絞ったせいで結局俺との約束を守れなかったんだ。
お前が2課を利用しろって言ったんだろう。
俺は絶対に2課を利用しろとは言ってないよ。リストに書いたことだけを期限内に処理してくれって言っただけじゃないか。君は同意したし。
卑劣な野郎が。支部長の俺を殺せば南部一課と教会本部はもちろん花もじっとしていないだろう。だから俺もう一度だけ
セルマ、最後まで約束を守れなくてごめんって言ってくれないんだね。
The fact that he's torturing this poor fellow and he's like, what is life? Life is grand. He's like not feeling any emotion at all.
ほんと心苦しいよ。あと俺の心配ならしなくてもいいよ。ここがどこだって言ったっけみんな。
裏路地ですよ。その23
Oh crap, it's the cannibal district.
はあ、この兄貴は今が夜っちこともわからんみたいやね。
The cannibals are about to come out.
ああ、当たり前だべ。ちゃんと目ば隠してるんだはんで。
そうそう。今裏路地の夜なのか。
ああ、だから 君がどこでどう死んだのか
And in what
誰もわからない
stomach you
だろう
ended
な。
up in.
ゆっくり都市から消えていくんだ。そうだろう。
Just like the stomach acid will acidic you.
きっとそうでしょうね、アルガリア様。
Damn this Eileen.
それじゃあそのまま進めてくれ、みんな。
ごめんなさい。申し訳ありません。申し訳ございません。約束を守れなくて。青い兄貴、動言します？
ここで終わるんだな。
セルマ。
はい、アルガリア様。全部俺のせい。
Surely he does not forgive
二
him.
度と
He's too insane to do that.
二度と私めの足りない脳みそなど絶対絞らず、これからは約束を守るようにします。
セルマ、俺涙が出そうだよ。本当に俺に謝ったところで
There it is.
君が知らな
There's
いわけが
no
ない
way
じゃ
I'd
ないか。
actually spare you for making a sincere apology. This troll.
足りない友達だってことは知ってたけど、ここまでだとは思わなかったよ。でも謝罪は受け入れてあげるよ。
Yeah, he's so about to die.
さあさあ、お口キューッチ閉じとけよ。おい、このクソ野郎。
Hearing him scream obscenities while being gagged is really funny to me for some reason.
そうしたになぐなじゃん。おめもおらも笑って生きねばまいねよ。
兄貴、次はどうすっと？
処理が終わり次第図書館に行ってくれ。招待状はこ
Oh,
こに
so
置い
it
てい
seems
くか
like we're about to deal with the smiling faces.
セルマはよろしく頼むよ。これでも長年の友達だったから。
気にせんでちゃ。気をつ。
じゃあエイリーン、他の友達に会いに行くか？
はい、喜んで。
前に見た歯車の教団の競争を完全に味方にしちまったな。あんむいから野郎。フィクサーのくせにねじれに笑う顔たちまで手足として使うだなんて。
特色はやっぱり強いんでしょうね。
そうだな。一級フィクサーの中でも傑出したフィクサーだから、花協会で固有の色を付与されるんだ。
I wonder how many colors there are. We know that there's obviously the red mist. We've heard about the black silence. Obviously the blue reverberation. I think that's all we know about so far.
色を付与されるって。
指折りのフィクサーだって思えばいいよ。稼ぎもやばいしな。
青い残響ってことは青を付与されたフィクサーなんでしょうね。
ああ、赤い霧みたいに色を付与されたフィクサーのうちの一人だ。
赤い霧と同じくらいに強いの？
まあ強さだけを見るなら赤い霧の方が秀でてるだろうな。
Carly, we need you. We need your power for when this insane maniac shows up.
でもフィクサーの仕事ってのはいろんな分野があって、それと同じくらいにいろんな状況があるから簡単に判断することはできないな。赤い霧は一人で活動してたけど、青い残響は見ての通り都市悪夢級に該当する組織を従えているようにな。
青い残響の本が必要なら手に入れることはできるかしら？
It will be tricky.
どうにかして得ることはできるだろうな。あんな頭のおかしい奴は都市から消えるべきだ。
Yes, please. I'm sick and tired of seeing his calm face.
うわー、ここも別世界だな。
下に見るなじゃ。虎穴の中だば気ぃつけねばまいねべ。
そろそろ館長のお出ましたいね。
Is he gonna smoke that pipe the entire time?
歓迎いたします。
会えて嬉しか？
ここにユジンっちゅうやつの本があるよな。
そうですね。
ほう、ほんなコツあるみたいやね。
ほんなこっそうやんね。全部兄貴の言う通りになったばい。
どうかあなたの本が見つかりますように。
Alright, here we are about to battle the Smiling Faces. So, with this one, again, we are probably just gonna stick with... Yeah, we are probably just gonna stick with the firing squad. Alright, so interesting thing about the Smiling Faces, they're actually introducing a new deck. Similar to the Index people, these guys introduce the Smoke deck. Now, Smoke decks are actually really powerful if you know how to use them, because the thing about Smoke decks is the way it works is it's like, well, you have two types of smoke. You can inhale smoke, which is kind of like the worst option, or you could inflict smoke upon your opponents. And essentially what happens is, if you inflict smoke upon your opponents, if you inflict smoke upon your opponents, pretty much the smoke stacks, and the more the smoke stacks, the more damage it does. The only problem with smoke decks is it does take a few turns to kind of like build up, so you won't really see the immediate effects of them. But on the other hand, smoke decks are really good for like the long drawn out battles. An example of this would be like the realization battle I talked about, because smoke actually carries over. So let's say, for example, you're facing a really difficult enemy, and you're like stacking that smoke on the enemy, but the enemy wipes out your floor. The good news is even though you've been defeated, the smoke actually carries over. And so the next floor can take the benefits of you using the smoke. Now again, similar to the index cards with the smoke decks that you get from the Smiling Faces, you only get like the basic smoke cards. And so to get like a really great smoke deck, like you gotta like face like some enemies kind of like later on. Alright. So this guy's starting to annoy me. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we finally got him into stagger. Alright. Okay, so I am probably gonna one-to-one it, since it did seem like it was very effective against like the first group. Alright, so we staggered 2 of them. Alright, there we go. We almost got him. So the interesting thing is, we're probably going to be creating, I'd say, 2 new decks soon. One's a smoke deck, which will really come in handy, and probably I'll be using a smoke deck probably at the end of the game. It'll probably be like one of my final kind of decks. Obviously, I'll improve things over time with like the combat page and the cards that are in the deck, but I really love the smoke deck. It's really good. Like, you can get to a point where, like, you're stacking smoke and you're doing, like, 50 damage a turn with one character.
Of
course he will, because he's insane. And we got a lot of new abnormalities. We're going to be tackling them next time. So thanks again for watching, everyone. More parts out soon. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and see ya.